Story time of how I got broken up with slash cheated on. Background of our relationship. Like, we were together for a year and 4 months, and it was beautiful. Like, he treated me like a queen every single day, like, did everything for me. Like, he would, like, I didn't have to lift a finger, and I did the same to him. Like, we treated each other with respect. We talked about things. Whenever we had issues, we always like sat down like an adult, and we always like talked it out. We never went to bed angry, ever. And so that's why, like, last week, like, now I'm totally fine, but last week I was crashing out. Like, I was crying every single day, and I was just so blindsided. But yeah, so last Monday, the 18th, it was our anniversary. And right, like, at midnight, we stayed up, and I ended up wanting to give him my anniversary present. So I gave him a watch that I saved up for, and that card that you guys saw on the fridge that said 365 days. I like made that. It took me like 8 hours. I like took a photo, printed out with my Polaroid camera, like all the things that, you know, all of our first time doing this, first time going places here and all that stuff. And like, I spent a lot of time doing it. And so I gave it to him, and he like was very emotional behind it. Like, he really loved it and appreciated it. And I was just like, I didn't see anything coming. Okay. We went to bed. We woke up in the morning. We woke up super early, but I was so pumped because it was our anniversary. It was like something that we could celebrate because, like, we love each other, you know? So I was just like, I've never got to celebrate an anniversary with someone, because when I date, like, I don't date loosely. Like, it took me 25 years to find him, and I still didn't choose right. But yeah, like, so this was something that like I was very excited for. So we live with his brother, and so in the morning we go out in the living room to eat breakfast one at a time, just because Pumpkin, my cat, will cry like a maniac and wake up his brother. So he wanted to go eat breakfast first, and so I was like, okay, go. But like, he just kept on pacing back and forth. Like, he was pacing for a good like 20 minutes, and I'm like, babe, like, what are you doing? Are you gonna go eat or not? And like, he kept on saying like, oh, it's like 1 year, like, we had 1 year together and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, like, it's so amazing and all that stuff. And then he finally was like, I think we should break up. And I laughed in his face because I thought it was like a joke. And he was like, no, like, seriously, like, I think we should break up. Because like, he's like, I feel like I have a lot of things that I want to work on. And like, I don't think that I can do that while I'm in a relationship. And I'm like, okay, I think we could talk about it. Like, I was like, what do you think that you need to work on that you can't work on in a relationship? Like, is there something that I can change, or is there something that we can sit down and plan? Because we've done that. Like, we planned our goals. Like, just the week before, we were looking at rings. We were talking about getting married and having kids, and it was so beautiful. Like, I was so excited. Like, you know, so planning for us was not something new. So I was like, we can sit down and we can plan. And he was like, no. And I was just like, just freaking tell me like just freaking tell me like what those things are. And he was just like, well, I feel like fitness goals, like, I feel like I've lost like a lot of muscle mass, and like, he was like, I have a lot of family things going on, and I feel like it's a lot of trauma that I need to process, but I don't know how to process that. And he said he didn't want to like bring me into it. And then like that whole time, like, I was trying to reason with him. I was like, oh, I totally think we can work this out. And like, I think that we can talk about things. And he was like, well, I'm just jealous. Like, I feel like I don't have any emotions. And like, when you cry, or like, I'm a very expressive person. And he was like, I'm jealous of that. And he was just like, whenever like you cry, or you're like expressing yourself, like, I wish I could feel that way, and I wish I could like express myself that way. And he's like, but I grew up in a home where, you know, I was told that I have to suppress my feelings and do all that stuff. And so I was like, that's not your fault. Like, you were conditioned to live that way. Like, you have to be easy on yourself. And I was like, when you first started dating me till now, you literally have improved tremendously. Like, you have been improving so good. Like, I don't understand. Like, you need to look at how you've improved and not just like, beat yourself down, And then he was just like, and I also feel like I hate myself. Like, I don't love who I am. And he was like, I feel like you don't deserve someone like that. I feel like, I feel like I am holding you back and I am doing you a disservice and like saying all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, you're not. And he was like, you're too good for me. And I'm just like, I don't feel that way. And I was just like, I love you with all my heart. And I was just like, not understanding where this is coming from. And I was like, we are so good together. We're like best friends. We literally have the most fun together. Like, like I was like, I think we're soulmates. Like, legit. I legit think we're soulmates. And everyone around me, including my parents and my siblings and my family friends, like, everyone thought we're soulmates. Like, that's how much chemistry we had. So I was just like, where is this coming from? And I was just like, not a few months back, like in the beginning of the year, like there was an instance where he came back from it. This always usually stems from when he comes back home from his parents' house, where he feels so down because it's not the best environment over there. Like, I don't want to say too much stuff, but it's just not the best environment, and they just kind of bring him down, and he's kind of like the black sheep of the family. And I have always been like, I'm gonna be your rock, I'm gonna be supporting you, because that is not cool. And so when he came back from that last time, he was like, I think we should break up because I was told that, like, I'm not good enough for you and all that stuff. And I'm like, what? Like, where is this coming from? Like, and so that time in the beginning of the year, we were able to resolve it and we were able to talk about it. So that's why I felt so confident on Monday that we were able to talk through it and all that stuff. And he kept on being like super stubborn and saying like, no, like, I think that like I'm better off living alone. And he was just like, I don't really be in relationships. My last relationship was 3 years ago, and he was just like, I feel like I work better alone and I don't deserve happiness. I don't deserve a family and kids. And I was like, where is this coming from? We literally were talking about having kids last week, and not last week, like all throughout like the past couple of months, we were looking at freaking rings. Like, where is this coming from? I was like, you're lying to yourself right now. I know exactly what you're doing. You're self-sabotaging, and I'm upset that you're doing that. Like, you have a good thing right now and you're pushing it away, And he was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, look at me in the eye and tell me that you're not happy, and tell me that you don't want to have kids and you don't want to build a family with me. And he was just like, couldn't look at me in the eye, but then he was just like, you're right. I do want that, but I feel like I don't deserve it. And I don't deserve to have a good and happy life. And he was like, I feel like at home, it's so bad, like his parents' house, it's so bad. But like when I come home to you, like everything is so good. Everything is so good, and that everything, it feels like fake. That's what he said. And I was just like, I mean, we're happy. Like, is that something to complain about? I'm so confused. Like, and I was fighting for it. So like, must have started at like 8 a.m. We were talking for 8 hours straight, and I was trying to convince him about all these things. I was telling him about like how great we are together, like the plans that we had together. Like, I was even upset because I left my stable job. I was a retail manager, and I left that job that gave me a stable income and benefits and all that stuff to pursue my dreams to be an esthetician and have my own like spa. And we already had a plan. Like, I was going to leave, I was going to work a part-time job, and he was going to support us. And I like truly trusted him, like that was going to happen. Like, that was the plan. I literally left the job 2 weeks ago. So like, I was just confused because I was just like, I thought we had a plan about all of this stuff, And like, the main reason why I also wanted to start on this esthetician career is because we were talking about, we want to have kids before we're 30. Like, we talked about like major life shit. Excuse my language. Things. So I was like, this esthetician career will be freaking amazing, because then like when it takes time to build a business. First of all, I need to get my license. I need to go to school. It takes time to build a business. And also, like, I want to be able to build a business where I have flexible hours. So when I am a mom, like, I want to be there for my kids. Like, we literally planned all of that, you know? And he was just like, well, I'm still going to support you. I still love you. You're going to be the love of my life, like, for the rest of my life. And he's like, you're going to be the one that got away. I'm still going to pay for your school. I'm still going to support you. You can still live in this apartment. Our lease is up in March, but I'm going to renew it. So you can still stay here for free. You don't have to pay rent. He's like, I'm not kicking you out or anything. He's like, I just feel like I can't be in a relationship right now. And I'm like, but you still want to live with me and you still want to do boyfriend, girlfriend things. Like, I know you still love me. And he's like, I do. And I was like, then what's the freaking issue? So, he was just like, I just don't know. And he was just like, I don't want to continue to be in a relationship with the nagging thought in the back of my head that I should break up. And honestly, like, I understand that. And I'm glad that he was honest with it. But like, at that point on Monday, I was like super emotional about it. And I couldn't logically think that, like, okay, you don't want to be with someone who is constantly thinking that they want to break up with you. Right, Myung? Like, no, I don't want that. But I also knew, like, I was upset because I know how he thinks and I know who he is as a person. And I'm like, you literally are self-sabotaging. Like, I know you want all of this stuff, but you're just saying, like, when things get too good, you're just pushing things away. And you, like, usually when he does it, like, we get to talk it through and he's like, okay, all right. And like, we regroup. But this time he was not budging. And I was so frustrated because I was like talking for 8 hours straight trying to convince him and all that stuff. Anyways, it got to a point where it wasn't going anywhere and I was like just trying to like talk to him and he was just like, I love you with all my heart. And he was just like, I'm going to continue to love you and I'm going to continue to support you and all that stuff. And I'm going to continue to help you build a business and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't want that if we're not together. If I'm going to build a business, I'm going to do it by myself and I'm going to figure it out. I'm a big girl. I've done things by myself without you before and I can figure it out by myself. But my issue is I want to do things with you. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. I want to build a life with you. And so like, it was just going around and around in circles. And like, he would say something and then like, I would call him out on it and be like, you're lying. Like, that's not true. Like, I know you want this. And then he'd be like, yeah. But then like, he would still be stubborn and say that he didn't want a relationship. So I was like, okay, I think that we need a break from this. Like, go talk to your brother in the living room and we'll regroup. And his brother like literally yelled at him and he was just like, you psychopath. Like, why are you putting this poor girl through this? Like, twice. Because he knew about the first time and he was like, everything is so good. Like, do you guys have any issues? And he's like, no. And then his brother's like, then what's the freaking issue? Like, why are you breaking up with her? What's the point of it? And then he was just like, you just are like, his brother called him crazy and a psychopath. And I'm like, no, I don't like calling people that. But yeah, so he was just like saying all that stuff. And he was just like, his brother was like, you're going to regret this for the rest of your life. Like, I thought that you guys were going to get married. And everyone thinks that and all that stuff. Like, so I think that you're making a big mistake. And so then after that conversation with his brother, he came back into the room and he was just like, okay, babe, like, I think that we need to work through these things. I really want to work through things. Like, I'm so sorry I put you through all of this. Like, I'm sorry. And he's like, I want this. And he's like, I'm going to work with you to like learn about myself and also like work through all these traumas and goals that I have. I was like, great. Let's not ever do that again. And I was like, you got to promise me that you don't put me through that. And like, we even made a video of him, like, as cheesy as it sounds, of him promising never like to put me through that again. And we had like this, like, our own promise handshake that we did. And I was just like, okay, we're solid. But then I was just like, it's sad that you didn't even write a card or anything for our anniversary. And he was like, because I was in my head about like breaking up with you for the last couple days. And he was like, I didn't mean for it to land on our anniversary, but it happened. And I was like, that freaking sucks. Like, that freaking sucks. So yeah. And then so we were like sitting in the living room, and then he was like, okay, let's go to dinner. Like, let's make reservations for a place and whatever. So we went to dinner, we celebrated our anniversary. Everything was fine. Everything felt as normal as it could, because I was crying all morning and I was trying not to freak out. And I was feeling like it could happen again. I don't know. Like, I was on edge, but we still celebrated our anniversary and we had a good time. And we slept, we kissed goodnight. We did all the normal things, our normal routine, and it felt fine. So that was Monday night, okay? And I'm seeing some comments already saying like, oh, it's giving me the ick that you're begging for this relationship. Like, for me, this felt like a ride or die relationship, and it felt like a situation where like we could work through things, because like him and I literally always talked about how like we were the end all, you know, like, so why wouldn't I fight for something if I felt like that, you know? So yeah. But yeah, so Tuesday night comes, we didn't really talk about it or anything. We just hung out, and just like, I didn't want to stress out about any of it because we talked about it for 8 hours the day before. So I wanted to chill a little bit. And then it was Tuesday night, like around like, maybe we went to bed at like 10 or like midnight or something, but every night we're always like checking in on each other. And like, that's the thing, we always check in on each other, which is why I'm so annoyed that I got blindsided like this. So yeah, I was like, how are you doing, babe? Like, how do you feel about everything? Oh, also, shit, things just kept on happening, because Tuesday morning, it was my fault. Okay, this is my fault. I take responsibility for it. My car got repossessed. I have her now, but my car got repossessed because I was dumb and I made some mistakes, and I took my insurance off and I didn't think anything of it, okay? So my car got repossessed Tuesday morning after having that horrific anniversary on Monday, okay? And so when I was just like, oh, like, can we talk about things and all that stuff? He's like, no, like, I need to work on trying to get your car back. Like, I'm stressed about that. Like, I want to help you get your car back. And I was just like, well, our relationship is more important. Like, I think we need to talk about it. Like, I know I can figure out the car thing. Like, that's not a big deal. And then he's like, okay, fine. And we talked about it. And I was like, how are you feeling? And he was just like, I still want to work through things, but he's like, I still have the thought in the back of my head that I should break up with you. And he's like, I just want to be completely transparent and honest with you, because I know you feel blindsided right now. And he was just like, but I think I just need to sit down and I really need to think about it. And why am I feeling that I need to break up with you and all that stuff? And so he was just like, I need to think about all of these things. And I was crying, and he was just like, stop crying. Like, and he was just like, I don't want you to cry. And he's like, I hate seeing you cry because it hurts me and all that stuff. Valid. But he was like, I just need time to think about it. And I was like, oh, it sucks, because I just want to freaking fix this now and not think about it anymore. And I was like, okay, Wednesday and Thursday, you're working like all day. So I think maybe those 2 days are the perfect day to talk about it and think about it. You know, like that night I couldn't sleep. I went in the living room. His brother and I talked for like 4 hours. God bless his brother's heart. That man is an angel. But yeah, like we talked about things, and like his brother was just like, literally, you're good for him. Like, I think that you guys are gonna work through this stuff. And he was just like, you guys are like meant to be married and all that stuff. And I'm like, I know, like, I don't understand where this is coming from. So yeah. And then so Wednesday and Thursday go by. It's very awkward because I'm like stressed about it, but I also don't want to like stress him. But we planned to talk about it on Friday and have like the final conversation if we were gonna break up or not, or like how we're feeling, right? And so Friday comes around, he comes back from work, and then we talk. And he was just like, I have gone through all of our photos, I've gone through all of our memories and all that stuff. And he was just like, I have never felt so happy in a year than this year. And he was just like, but I also feel like I don't deserve this, and I feel like this is a fever dream. And he was like, I feel like my want to be in a relationship is less than my want to be single and working on myself. And so I feel like that's not fair to you, and I feel like I need to break up with you. And I just started crying because I was just like, what the heck? Like I was still in shock. I was still processing things, you know? And I was just like, how can this be? Like, we literally have talked about our future together. Like, rings, I'm talking to you about rings. He knows what ring I want. He knows the style and everything. Like, and he's talked to my mom about it too. And like, he's promised things to my mom, saying like he's gonna take care of me and all that stuff, saying the same thing to my mom, my sister and my brothers. Like, and he spends time with my family, and it's like he's adopted into the family. Like, everything just was perfect. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. So that's why I felt crazy, and I was like trying to fight for it. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you're literally self-sabotaging right now, and I don't want to see you do that. Like, I know that you're gonna regret it, and I know that we have something so good, and I just don't understand why I'm fighting for it and you're not fighting for it. Like, that's not cool. And he was just like, yeah, like he was just like, I just feel like I can't, because I feel like I can't be in a relationship. And then I was crying, and he's like, why are you crying? And I'm like, why are you asking me why I'm crying? I was like, I feel like right now I'm losing the love of my life. And then he goes, you lost the love of your life. Like, so cold. And that was the start of him being very cold, which, if anyone knew me and him and our relationship, we were so lovey-dovey. He would never talk to me like that. He always asked me how I was doing. He always checked himself. If he said something to me and was rude, immediately after he would check himself and be like, that is not cool. I do not talk to you like that. Like, so I was like, why are you talking to me like that? And also, mind you, from Monday to Friday, he kept on saying that he loved me and he will never not love me, and that I'll be his only love of his life, and that I will be the one that got away. And I'm like, I don't have to be the one that got away. I'm right in freaking front of you. I don't even run. I don't do cardio. So I'm like, literally, you don't have to lose me, okay? I'm like, and then he was just like, I just have to do it. Like, and he was like so set on it, And I was just like, why are you so set on it? Like, we don't need to break up. Like, I don't understand. And yeah, it just kept on being that conversation over and over again. I was just crying, and then I finally like came to terms with it, and I just like was like, I need to leave the house right now. And like I just like grabbed my stuff and I called my friend, like sobbing my eyes out. Rick is a queen. And he picked me up, and he's my gay bestie, and he picked me up because he lives up the street, and he took me to his house with him and his boyfriend, and like we were talking for hours. But like he was following me, like babe was following me around the house, and he's like, where are you going, and I'm like, I need space. Like, I can't, like I just can't, like I'm devastated right now, and then so I left, and then while I was leaving, he was like blowing up my sister's phone, and he also was like calling me, and he was also texting me, asking me where I was, and that he was worried and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, you just asked to break up with me like all throughout this week, and like it finally has happened on Friday. And I'm like, I need space. And I'm just like, I didn't answer. And he was like calling my sister, like saying like, where am I? Because like we have each other's location, and so he was like, her location is lagging, so I'm like worried about like where she's at. And then like he called his friend, they went to the gym, but he got too sad, and he like went up and around the Seattle area, like around where we lived, and was like talking / looking for me / eating like dinner. Like, he was like panicking. And then finally when I got home and like I felt good, like I responded saying like, okay, I'm at home. And then he went home immediately. But then like even after that, like even after we broke up, we still cuddled, we still kissed goodnight and all that stuff. And he was like, I'm still gonna support you for the rest of my life. Like, you're still gonna be the love of my life and all that stuff. So like, I'm like, till this day, I'm confused, because like, I know that he loves me. Like the way that this man looks at me, and the way that this man treats me, and like the way that he cares about me and stuff like that, like, I don't know, it feels so genuine. Like, maybe I'm crazy, I don't know, but like, in the fact that he keeps on saying it to this day, I'm like, okay, why are you saying all this stuff but like breaking up with me? Like, I'm still so confused. So anyways, then he drove me to work on Saturday morning. We held hands while he was driving me, and he like kissed me, and he was like, kissed me goodbye to work, and he was just like I was like, do you love me? Like, and he was just like, yeah, I will always love you to the, like, till I die, like, literally. because he was like, you're my soulmate. And I was like, okay. And I just started crying again. And so like we went to work, we came back from work, and we sat in the living room and we started talking again. And then he was just like, I'm so tired of talking about this. And he's like, why can't you just like let me break up with you? And I was just like, you don't, like, it just sucks to hear that, because like I thought that you cared about this relationship just as much as I did. And he's like, I do. And he's just like, but it just has to happen. And he was just so cold. And I'm like, I know him so well. He's just doing this to push me away. Like, I don't know if any of you guys relate to me, but like I know when my partner is like self-sabotaging, or like I know that he's going through a mental health crisis right now, or so. I don't know. I know like, because it's uncomfortable to talk about feelings or something, or like when things get like too good for him, he pushes me away. And that's why like I was trying to tell him and like call him out on it, and he was like, yeah, I know. But he was just like, I'm so tired of talking about this. And he was just like, I just need a break from it. And then I was just like, but like I am not, like I'm like upset that you made this decision for both of us, and like you didn't even loop me in when you started feeling about these things. Like I just got blindsided at our anniversary. Like I feel like at least I need to like be able to talk about this. And then I was like telling him, like, I feel like you're only listening to me to like answer me by saying like, with the answer of like, no, this is dead and like set, like we're breaking up. Like, and I think that's not cool. Like, you're not actually listening to my points. You're being very stubborn. So yeah. And then he just like suddenly like got up and he's like, I need to go do a cold shower and I need to go to the gym. And I was like, you're gonna walk away from this conversation right now and go to the gym? And I was like, you never walk away from a conversation. He was like, I need to go. And so I was like hysterically sobbing back at that point. And then I was just like, just freaking go. Okay. Just freaking go. Because I knew that like the gym was a safe space, you know, to like think. So like, that's what my thought process was. And I also had like family friends that were going to pick me up because they heard about the breakup the day before. So they're like, okay, we need to take you out, and talk to you. And also I forgot to mention, like, on Monday when we were talking, like he was just like, I don't think we should say a break like for the relationship, because like I don't know when I'm going to be able to like fix my traumas or like face my things, but like I think we should officially break up, because I don't want to have you waiting on me and stuff like that, because like I don't know how long it's going to take to work on myself and stuff like that. And I'm like, and then he was like, but then when we get back together, like I want to like still continue doing life with you, and I still want to get married and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's not how it works. You think that this family stuff is gonna just go away right now? When we get married and stuff like that, especially when we bring kids together, there's so many more issues that happen. If we can't work through this, how are we gonna work through that? And I don't want to bring a kid into the world when we can't handle this, or like go through family trauma, or like be able to talk about it or feel comfortable about it, you know? And he was just saying like it's not that I don't feel comfortable with you or I don't trust you, but it's the fact that I've never uttered these words about what I've gone through and stuff like that. And he was just like, so I'm having a really hard time doing it. So I'm like, I understand. Okay, so we go back to Saturday. So he said he went to the gym, right? And I went to go out to hang out with some friends to like just get my mind off of things. And yeah. After I hung out with them, like I came to terms with like how I don't want to be with someone who like keeps on saying that they don't want to be with me, because I'm not going to do that. Like, if I'm going to end up with someone and marry someone, I want someone who will always be down for me. Okay. So I already came to terms with that. But then like I saw his location, and I saw his location like was in, somewhere in like downtown Seattle, and like one of our our friends lived there, and I was like, oh, our guy friends, and I was like, oh, are you at his house? In my head. And then like the location was him at Costco, and they're like going around town. I was like, oh, maybe they're out for a drive, and you said you were at the gym. So I was like confused, so I was panicking, and I was just like, who is he with? Is he with a guy? Is he with a girl? Like, what's happening? And like I called him and I texted him, because he also asked me where I was gonna go too. So I was just like, I felt like I also like could ask where he's going. And I was like, are you okay? And stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, babe, I'm okay. And he's still calling me babe. Ugh. And so yeah, and then then I ended up waiting for him and waiting for him until it was 5 a.m. in the morning. I waited for him in my bed until it was 5 a.m. in the morning, and I was fuming, okay? I was like, "Where were you?" He came back home to get ready for work, and I was like, "Where were you?" And he was like, "I was out." And he was like, "This is the single life." Excuse me? You and I were together for a year and 4 months. I thought we at least had some mutual respect, you know? And like, what? This is the single life? And I was like, okay. And I was just like, so where were you? And he was just like, I was at a friend's house. And I was like, a coworker's house? And he was like, yeah. And I was just like, was it like a guy coworker's house? Like, cause he recently became friends with a few of them. And he was just like, no, oh, he said yes. And I was like, okay. And I was just like, that's so messed up. Like, you know me. You know that I would stay up, like, waiting for you. I know, like, we're technically broken up, but we still have feelings for each other, and, you know, we still care about each other. Like, and he was like, yeah, and I care about you, and I still love you, and all that stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so then he got ready, and he went to his car. And then when he went to his car, he dropped a bomb on me and texted me saying, yes, I was with a girl. No, I wasn't cheating on you. Yes, I don't want to cuss in here. Yes, we did the deed. She's a coworker. I met her at work. And I started bawling my eyes out. And I was like panicking. And I was just like, what? Like, who is this girl? Like, how did you meet her? Like, you definitely were cheating on me, because how was it that immediately a day after you are going to Costco with someone, you go to Costco, like, that's relationship stuff. You go to Costco with me. We go every week to get, like, groceries and stuff like that. But you went to get this girl, like, a whole week worth of groceries or whatever they were doing. And then they went around town, probably dinner or something. And then you stayed at her house all night and you did the deed and you literally slept there all night. I was like, and you cuddled and stuff like that. Did I not mean anything to you? Like, I thought we had respect for each other. And so I was so mad, like, so freaking mad. And I also know that, like, people are like, why is she talking about this whole entire week? Like, it's important. The days are important, okay? So I was blowing up his phone after he texted me, like, oh, I was at a girl, like, so nonchalantly. And, like, he texted me with, like, no remorse, like, that we didn't spend every single day of the last year and, like, almost a half together. Like, he would just, like, get over it, you know? And I was just like, what? Like, you're crazy. And I'm like, what the heck? And I was asking him all these questions. Like, there's no way that you weren't cheating on me, because how is it that the day after you, like, meet someone, the day after you break up with me, you meet someone and you're doing all of this relationship stuff with them? Like, you're literally, like, going to Costco and all that stuff. And he's like, I just did. And I was like, do you think I'm dumb? Do you think I'm freaking dumb? That's not how it happens. And also, you hardly make a lot of friends. Like, you know, I make a lot of friends. And I was like, you're the one who, like, you're a homebody, you're introverted, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you don't have a lot of friends. And the fact that you have a friend that's a girl, I know you guys are talking about, like, you guys are talking for a while. And he was like, no, it was just this week. What do you mean this week? We literally ended things yesterday. So you cheated on me. And then he was just like, I was like, do you still love me? Do you love her? And he was just like, I still love you. And, like, he's like, still kept on saying, like, I still love you. You're going to be, like, the love of my life. Oh my God, this made me remember things. He also, like, got back together with me on Monday because he said he felt bad because he didn't want to see me cry anymore. And that he knew that he was going to have to break up with me again anyways. And I was like, now I'm like, I don't trust what you're saying. So anyways, yeah, he then texted me after I was blowing up his phone after. He was like, well, I still love you and you're going to be the love of my life. And he was just like, but you're not my person right now. And he was just like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to see you cry and I don't want to hurt you anymore. Like, he's like, let's just move past this. And I'm like, I just got a bomb dropped on me. I'm not going to just move past this. I was like, I get off at 4 and I was just like, let's talk about it one last final time. At that moment, I made up in my mind. I was like, we're going to talk. And then, like, this is going to be the last time I talk to you. And I already knew he was going to be at his parents' house for early Thanksgiving on Monday, the following Monday and Tuesday. So I was like texting my mom and my family, and I'm like, we're gonna move out, and so he's gonna come home to an empty house. And I was so confident with that. And so he was like, no, I don't want to talk to you. And he was like, it's over. And I was just like, I deserve some answers. Like, yeah. And then he was just like, I'm tired. I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to go to my parents' house. And I was like, you can't even spare me 10 minutes. I was like, I legit will tell you, this is my last time talking to you. Like, I feel that in my soul. I'm done crying. And then he was like, wouldn't say anything. And so I was like, my sister picked me up from work and I was like, okay, drop me off at the gym. And she did. And I went to the front desk and I was just like, hey, my boyfriend's working out. There's a family emergency. Can I like go talk to him? And then she was like, yeah. And so I went in, I made eye contact with him and he knew immediately. He's like, fuck. Oh, he was like he was like in trouble. Like, or I was like, talk to me. So he followed me outside and we were talking outside in the gym. And I was like, outside of the gym. And I was like, so what's up? Like, do you love her? Like, you were cheating on me. And he was like, no, I'm not cheating on you. And I was like, there's no freaking way that you haven't been emotionally cheating on me, haven't been checking her out at work. Why is it immediately after our relationship is over, you already have someone? And the fact that you said that you're going to work on yourself and that you're not meant for relationships. And you also said that you're never going to be in a relationship for the rest of my life, and this is going to be the last relationship. This doesn't make sense. You said that you're going to work on yourself and you immediately found another person. Like, so I just meant nothing to you. And he was like, no, you mean the world to me. And he was like, she doesn't mean anything to me. And I was just like, what? So are you like rebounding or what? And he was just like, yeah, she doesn't mean anything to me. And he was just like, I just did it because I just wanted to not be sad. And he was just like, I'm trying to get over this. And I was just like, well, you did it while we were together. Like, that's cheating. And he's like, I'm not cheating on you. But he was like, if that's gonna make you feel better to make me look like the bad guy, then think about me being a cheater. And I was just like, that's not, like, you are cheating on me. And like, it was so frustrating because I had to get it out of him. I had to spell it out. And also he was like, well, technically, we broke up on Monday and I started talking to her on Tuesday. No, we didn't. I literally have video proof of us like not breaking up and you promising me not like that we're not going to be breaking up. Tuesday we talked at night and you said you want to still fight for this relationship and you started talking to her on Tuesday. I don't believe that. Like, you definitely were talking to her weeks before. Like, him and I took it slow too. Like, so I'm just like, you were checking her out at work or something, and I'm like, you literally had wandering eyes at work. And then I was like, are you attracted to her? And he was like, I don't know, maybe. And I was like, do you like her? And he's like, no. And I was like, what does she have that I don't have? And he's like, nothing. And he's like, you're way better than her. And he was like, you're the most beautiful person I've ever been with. And he's like, you're the hottest person I've ever been with. I'm like, I don't want to hear that when you literally just were at a girl's house. And I was like, I am going to take Pumpkin tonight. And I'm like, this is probably going to be like the last time you see me. And he was like freaking out. And he was just like, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? And I was just like, I don't owe you that explanation, especially when you like were out for all hours and you said this is the single life. Maybe I can say that back. This is the single life. And I'm like, what if I were to go have some guy, like go over to a guy's house and stuff like that? And he's like, no, that's not you. Don't do that. And he was just like, you're way too good for that. Like, don't be doing that. Don't like let any guy like touch you or anything. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to because I have self-respect. I mean, honestly, I could if I want to, but I don't feel like looking at another man right now. But like, I'm not going to do that. And I also respected you. Like, I didn't want to just do that. I wanted to just work on myself. And he was like, no, please tell me where you're going to go. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. And he's like, well, I promise I'm going to tell you where I'm going. And I'm like, okay, where are you going? And he was like, I'm going to go to the gym and then I'm going to go to her house. Be fucking for real. Like, you're going to go to her house. So you're going to admit that you're going to go back again when you knew it hurt me and you're like begging to know where I'm going. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And I was like, also Sunday night, he was like emphasizing weeks ago that he needed to go home to his parents' house because his brother was in town and like doesn't live in the state, so he wanted to spend as much time with them. So like, him and I didn't make any plans, but the fact that he's choosing to spend time with this girl over me or his own family, what the heck? And then he kept on saying like, her and I, it's nothing, like it doesn't mean anything to me. And then he was just like, we just do stuff. And he was like, it doesn't feel like you. And he was just like, you and I I don't want to talk so graphic, but he was just like, I don't do the things that I do with you with her. And he was just like, it's just like a one and done thing. And I was like, that's so sad. Like, that's so sad for her. Like, that you're doing that to her. Like, she doesn't know that. I was just like, you're such a douchebag. Like, you're so mean. Like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, I also know that you hate yourself when you're doing this. So why are you continuing to do it? Like, I don't understand. Explain to me why. And I was like, okay, what's her name? And he was like, no, I'm not going to tell you because you're going to message her and ask her or tell her that I'm a cheater and make me look like a bad guy. And I was like, if she doesn't mean anything to you, then why do you care? Why do you care? So I was just like, tell me what her name is. He finally told me what her name is and then her ethnicity. So I like put the two and two together. And then I was like, okay, what does she look like? And then he was just like, I'm not going to show you. And then I was just like, okay, show me. And then he finally did. And he was showing me photos of her that she sent him through text messages. So you're saying that you weren't talking and you guys weren't like that and you just started texting her today to hang out and go to Costco and do all that stuff, but you guys were sending photos of each other to each other? Be for real. Like, be so freaking for real. So then he showed me a photo of her and I like open mouth laughed because I'm just like, you downgraded. I'm sorry. Like, she, like, what, like, why? This is not your type. Like, I'm not trying to put another girl down, but like, I don't know. Do you guys understand? Like, I was just like, why are you downgrading? Like, this is not even your type. She's older than you. Like, what are you doing with your life? And he was like, yeah, I know. She's not even my type. Like, and he was like, I know I downgraded. And he was like, but you can't downgrade. And he was just like, I want you to do better than me. And I want you to find someone better. And I'm like, to me, you're more than enough. Like, I don't understand how you can't understand that. And I was just like, you know what? I don't deserve this. You know, like, I'm going to find something good, but like, it's going to take a while. And I was just like, oh, and then he was just like, what are you going to do now? And I'm like, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to get my money up. I'm going to get my career that I always wanted, whether it's with you or without. And he's like, I'm going to still support you. I'm going to still send you money. I'm going to still pay for your school. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do this by myself. I don't want to think about you when I get my degree or my career and be like, oh, my ex like supported me. I don't want to think about that, you know? And then he was like, please, like, and then I was just like, and I said this is like the moment that like is etched in my brain where I was like, I'm going to get so hot. I'm going to work out. I'm going to get freaking abs and you're not going to be able to look at me or touch me. And he open mouth laughed at me. And he was just like, that's the problem with you. I'm like, what's the problem? Tell me what the problem is. And he was just like, you always make these plans and you don't execute them. Excuse me. I go to Pilates way more often than he goes to the gym sometimes. And I was just like, look at yourself. I never judge you. When you're tired from work, I never judge you. Go to the gym when you feel comfortable going to the gym. But you're open mouth laughing at me and saying stuff and like judging that like what I'm gonna do, and you're like doubting me. And then he continued to say like, I love you. You're you're gonna be the love of my life, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, when I was doing stuff with her, I couldn't even do stuff with her without thinking about you. And he was just like, I don't know why I even did it. And I'm like, literally, why are you doing it? Like, why are you doing it? So yeah. And like, he kept on like saying stuff like that. And I was just like, and he was like, you should just get over it. How can I get over it? Like, I am going to get over it, but like, we literally just broke up yesterday. And like, we also spent like a year and a half, like ish together. And you're expecting me to get over it in like a day or two? Tell me how that is possible. Like, I'm trying to get closure. I'm trying to figure things out. I'm trying to understand the situation, but you're just shutting me down and being like, nope, it's done. And like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, he keeps on saying like, just get over it. And I'm like, no. And then in the middle of this conversation, oh wait, also when I was like, oh, like this is a long-term like relationship, like how could I get over it? And he's like, no, it's not a long-term relationship. I'm like, huh? We were talking about all these long-term like plans together. What do you mean it's not a long-term relationship? And then he was just like, yeah. And I was just like, we literally have an apartment together. We got a cat together. Like, I left my stable job to pursue this dream so we can have a comfortable life. Like, I mean, he also has a comfortable job, but like for me to also have a comfortable job and also have flexible hours for future kids. You're saying that's not long term? And I was like, it was just so mind-boggling to me. Like, he said things like with no remorse, and then he was just like, I will still love you to the day I die. Like, after all of this stuff, he said, I will still love you to the day I die. And then he was like, can I kiss you? Can I hug you? I'm like, ew, get your nasty lips away from me. You literally had them on her yesterday. Like, why would I want that on me? And it was just like a whole thing. Like, I just, ugh. And then like I ended up hugging him, but then I got grossed out because I'm like, you're literally wearing the same sweater that you like saw her yesterday in. And then after that I said bye and I never looked back. Okay. Then I went to go get dinner with my sister and one of my friends, and we were out for 2 hours. And then I came back to the apartment and he was there with his friend, who's like our family friend. And he was like following me around the house because like I was packing pumpkin stuff, because I was like, that night I was contemplating staying there, but like I was like, I can't. Like, when I am in this apartment, I think about our future together, about him and I, about all the good times and stuff like that. I'm like, I can't sleep, and I'm getting panic attacks all by myself because I'm sleeping by myself too, because you're too busy somewhere else. Like, I need to pack up my stuff and go to my parents' house. So I like packed up all the pumpkin stuff, like a night's worth of stuff, because I already planned on coming back the next day and the day after with my friends and family to pack up the whole place. So yeah, I was gonna do that, and he was like trying to like block me from leaving, and he was just like, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you. And I was like, where are you going with the outfit that you're wearing that I bought you? And he was just like, I was like, why are you trying to look good for her with the clothes I bought you? Like, are you serious? Like, you didn't have style before you met me. And he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go see her. And I'm like, and he kept on saying, it's not like that. It's not like that. We just go play COD together. You play COD together in bed. Like, and he was just like, it's not like that. She doesn't mean anything to me. And I was just like, you literally were making fun of all those people at work who were doing stuff like this. And you kept on saying that like all the people that you, like the guys that you worked with who had like wives and children, like were like all hooking up with the girls. And I was like, you were telling them that they were lowlives and that like you would never do that, like that you don't have any locker room talk or anything. You always talk about me at work and stuff like that. Like, you always say that, and you turn out to be that way. Make it make sense. And I was like, you know what? I've been so patient with you. I haven't yelled at you or anything. I've just been crying all week, and I'm fed up that you feel like you can talk to me this way. You've been so mean. You've been texting me and been talking to me with no remorse. And he's like, I know, and I feel so bad. And he was just like, I like don't want to lose you. And he's like, I still want you in my life. He's like, still stay at this apartment. And he was like, I'll sleep on the couch. And I'm like, I can't stand to look at you. Like, it's going to be so toxic if I end up staying in this apartment, because I will like literally cry all the time and we're going to just be fighting. Like, I can't do that. And then he kept on like talking to me, and I like sat down with him, and I was just like, hey, you're self-sabotaging right now. And he was like, I know. And I was like, you don't even like this girl. And like, you're just doing this and you're leading her on and you're telling her things and you're saying that you like her and all that stuff. But I know you don't. You literally admitted it to me, and you told me that you're not as attracted to her, and you're just doing it because you're just doing it to get over this relationship or to like process your feelings. Like, what are you doing? And he was like, I know, like, I'm messing up things. And I'm like, okay, you already messed things up with me, and you're gonna continue to do that with another girl? Spare this girl her feelings. Like, I don't even know why I'm looking out for her, but I should. I don't want another person to get hurt. You already hurt me enough. Like, end it already after 1 week or 1 day, okay? But I was telling him, I was like, are you gonna continue to see her? And he was just like, yeah, probably, I'm gonna continue to. I'm like, you're so selfish. And he was like, yeah, I know, I'm selfish. And then I was just like, you know what? I could be crazy and I could message her. And then as soon as I said message her, he freaked out and he was like, no, now that's where you are so disrespectful. You like, that's where I draw the line. He was just like, you promised me that you weren't going to message her and all that stuff. And he was just like, and you do this. And he's like, this is so disrespectful. And in my head, I was just like, disrespectful? Like, do you know how disrespectful you were this whole entire week? And I was just like, okay, like, I was like, hypothetically, I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying that, like, I could have done that right now, you know? But in my head, I was also like, you're hiding something. Like, you didn't tell her something. Like, you're lying to her too. And so, yeah, it was just like a whole conversation about him, like, saying, like, he has a photo of me, like a Polaroid of me and our cat and stuff like that. And he still has it in his wallet and stuff like that. And he's like, not going to delete photos of me off of his phone and stuff like that, because he's like, no matter who I end up with, or if I still continue to see people, like, you're the most genuine person I've ever been with, and you're the person who I've opened up to the most, and it's scary to me. And he was vulnerable, and he was like, it's scary to me, and he was just like, it hurts so much that I feel like I can't do it. And I'm just like, okay, why didn't you say that in the very beginning, and why are you driving me nuts? So yeah, and then he got really sad, and he was just like, you know me, like, through and through, and like, I'm sorry that I'm putting you through all of this, and I'm sorry that I'm stressing you out and all that stuff. He was like, I don't want to continue to hurt you. And he was just like, you deserve better. And I was like, I do deserve better. And I was just like, but you know, like, you also deserve better. Like, you can start working on yourself. Like, you can't just like avoid the issues, but I am not going to be the person to fix that for you. That is above me. Like, you got to go get professional help. And he agreed. And he was just like, yeah, I probably need to go get therapy or whatever. But yeah, anyways, that conversation, like, it was kind of wholesome. Like, we ended like cordial, because I was just like, you know what? You hurt me so bad, but I'm not going to get butthurt about it anymore, because I know I deserve better. And I know that there's going to be better out there for me. And I also know I'm about to like do amazing things, and I'm excited for that. And I'm like, I don't want to be around someone who's going to stress me out or doubts me, because I didn't doubt you. And I'm sure someone's going to be in my life that doesn't doubt me and will never make me feel this way. And then after that, we went to the living room, and then like, he was like super sad, and like, he was showing me the photo again of me in his wallet, and like, he was just like, I'm never gonna throw this out and all that stuff. And he got really sad, and he like then started freaking out, and he's like, I need to go on a drive. And he started crying, and I was like, followed him into the elevator, and like, he hugged me, and he was just like, I will always love you. And he was just like, I'm so sorry for the pain I'm putting you through. And then yeah, and he left and said that I will like always love you and all that stuff, like, whatever. And then the next day was moving day. I got my car in the morning. And then we just started packing and stuff like that. And like, I was not intentionally looking through his stuff. I just grabbed what was mine, which is a lot of the stuff. And I grabbed all the stuff that I bought him. So all of his underwears, all of his socks, like literally everything I bought for him, like necessities, was me. And so he was left with nothing. But I also didn't want to cause a mess. Like, my intention of me moving out of that apartment was to leave as if I was never there in his life, so he can feel the absence of me in his life. And my mom was trying to make me like do all the stuff that you guys are saying, like to make it messy and to make it smelly and stuff like that. But also, his brother lives there, and like, I also respect his brother. His brother has been more than supportive of me throughout this whole entire week. He was saying that, like, you know, he would do doubles, and then he would come home and talk to me and listen to me, and he would say like that I deserve better, and like, he was supportive of me moving. He was telling me to move everything, and he's like, just take it all, take all of his stuff. And he was even saying like, especially get his scale, because he freaking loves the scale, because he's a gym bro. And I was just like, okay. And his brother was like, literally like, you deserve so much better. Like, I don't know why he's treating you the way that he does, but like, you need to move on. You're gonna find someone so much better. And he was like, you know, saying all that stuff. So yeah, I didn't want to like make it messy or anything, because the brother also was in there. But I left only his clothes, but all of his undies and socks and like toilet paper, paper towels, all that stuff, I left him one roll, but I took it all because I was like mad. And that's when I found the letter from her. And I was going through all the jackets that I bought him, because he came in with no jackets into the relationship. So I wanted to be a good girlfriend. I was like, oh my God, let's keep you warm. And I like felt the pocket of this jacket, and I like felt this letter, and I was like, okay, what is this? Because I was gonna donate the jacket anyways. And it was that letter. And I was like, the letter was dated and timed on our anniversary. So it was like, the things that she was saying on the letter was just like, oh, I can't wait for the rest of our story and stuff like that. I was like, this poor girl doesn't know what she's like, I'm pretty sure she doesn't know. And I was just like, I was fuming, and I was seeing all the stuff, like the stuff that you guys, like, that she was writing. It seemed like you guys were talking about goals and plans together. Like, what? That's what you were doing with me. And so I took a photo of that and I sent it to him, and he started blowing up my phone. He called my sister, and he was just like, please don't go through my stuff. That's so disrespectful. And at that point, he didn't know I was moving out. Like, he didn't know I was like almost done moving out, but I was just like, I left him on red. And he was just like, at least don't go through my brother's stuff. I'm like, I would never go through your brother's stuff. Like, what? And I was just like, I'm just, like, in my head, I was just like, I'm just taking what's mine. But I just left him on red. Okay. And then that night, he came home at like 9 p.m. and he freaked out. He called me like 5 times. He called my brother in Virginia like 5 times. He called my sister, my mom. And my mom and my sister, they just blocked him because they were like so mad for me that I was going through all of this stuff. And he was texting me and he was just like, you took all the stuff that I bought. I have receipts for it. And I'm like, you don't. Like, I always see you throw out your receipts. You don't have receipts for it. And also you bought it for us. So it's mine too. So I, like, the only stuff was like one of the ACs and then the table and the coffee table, but I'm still gonna take it. And because his brother told me to, he was like, his brother was like, he deserves it, just take it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it. And then he was just like, after all of the dates and the trips I like bought you, and he's like, you think those were free? And I was like, whoa. In my head, I was like, I didn't think that we were tallying things. When I'm in a relationship, I don't think about the money I spent on you. It's not a competition. I love you unconditionally. Like, I thought that was how it was. And then he was just like, in the Xbox that I bought him on his birthday, he was freaking out about that. He was just like, in the Xbox too, you took my Xbox? And he was like, this is not cool. Like, let me, like, I want to, like, he said, do you want me to involve the cops? And I was just like freaking out at that point, because I was just like, I didn't know. I don't know the law anymore, but like very well, but I was just like, oh my God, I don't want to get caught. But then he started calling me, and then after he like freaked out, he waited an hour, and then he texted me and he was just like, hey, I'm so sorry I got mad and upset at you. And he was just like, I don't want any of the stuff, just keep it. And he was just like, I hope that you're happy and that you're going to be okay and that you're safe. And he was just like, I still care about you deeply. And he was just like, I hope that you're happy with what you're doing or whatever. And then I just responded saying like, this is the price of being a cheater. Yeah. And then he never responded back. But then I found out, like, the girl, like, I found a way to reach out to her, and I messaged her, and I was just like, hey girly, and I basically told her, I was just like, hey, like, I just want to let you know, like, I already left him, but like, he cheated on me with you, and I'm pretty sure you don't know that, like, from the signs, like, of how many times he's lied to me and stuff like that. Like, I feel like he didn't tell you that he had a girlfriend or anything. So I just want to let you know, like, this is what happened. We just broke up on Friday. And yeah. And then she like freaked out and she was like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, how recent was it? And I was like, a couple days, like, recent. And then she's like, he literally told me that he didn't have a girlfriend and that he had a girlfriend. The last time he had a girlfriend was a year ago. I don't know this man. A year ago. And so, yeah, then she then stopped responding because, okay, at that point, I had, like, a glass of wine in me, and I, like, all week, I still haven't been able to eat anything, and so, like, it got me a little tipsy faster, so then I started calling her, and that was not cool. I shouldn't have done that. I should have respected her, but I had a little liquid courage, but then she answered once, and then she, like, hung up on me, so then I knew that I don't know. I just feel at peace that I reached out to her and I let her know, and whatever she wants to do with that information is what she's going to do, and because she's an adult. But yeah, that's how I found out that he cheated on me.